And we are live. Welcome to Josh and Aaron Talk About Stuff. I am Josh
I am Aaron.
and my buddy Aaron. I always never know if it's delayed, you're waiting for me to introduce you. I'm waiting for you to say your name. It's weird. Every time it's messed up. But
Yeah, right.
I
I
did
know.
check the microphone. I should be on
No,
the
you're clear, man. You're clear. No echo.
So lately, Aaron and I are talking about like the Mount Rushmore
'90s
of
rock and
90s
roll.
music. Like we're talking about American bands here. And I think we agreed to the four because on Mount Rushmore there's four presidents, so you can only have four on the Mount Rushmore of
Oh yeah,
90s, whatever.
absolutely.
And so we
Yeah, right.
picked in no particular order. But I mean, I think Pearl Jam is probably the they're like, if you're gonna talk about 90s alt movement stuff, grunge, Pearl
Mhm.
Jam is probably at the top of the list. Then we got Smashing Pumpkins. We picked Soundgarden and Foo Fighters. And we were talking about more like, well, go ahead. I'll let you.
Well, I was going to ask, but that reminds me, like, where does Nirvana fit in that? Because let's face it,
Right.
they are. Are they like something like different level here? Like we're not even like I mean, because like let's face it,
I know,
they
but like
changed the game.
musically, those other bands I think are much better than Nirvana. Nirvana
Yeah,
was opened the door to everybody, but that doesn't make them the best band ever, right?
maybe not the best band, but they
Right.
definitely like what they did. I mean, come on, it's just
Um.
like they kind of they didn't kick the door down. They like blew the door off its
Well, I mean,
hinges.
like, is Kurt Cobain better vocalist than Chris Cornell?
God no,
Is he a better guitarist than Mike McCready?
no, of course not.
I mean, Dave Grohl is a competitive drummer, but I mean, he might be, but like as
I
far
love
as like,
that. I'm not
all right,
being
right,
not.
right, right, right. But like as far as like bassist goes, I don't think Chris Novoselic.
No, that's true. No,
But they
musically
were the
they
right band for the right time. That was completely different.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
music video was like what?
Yeah,
But like I'm talking about like I'm not really. I guess the Mount Rushmore is like it's a combination of things, not just most impactful, but like quality
sure.
music and lyrics. But Aaron and I were kind of talking about like one hit wonder albums of the
Absolutely.
90s, and the one he sent me the other day, which incidentally it's weird, I had listened to it a day or two prior, was Throwing Copper by Live. That album was huge,
It was. I mean, it was massive.
right?
And like
Because
and those four singles, like you couldn't turn around without like hearing those four singles.
right, and then that kind of got us talking about like, if a
Which,
bands that have like two album run or like
yeah,
one major album, but like the bands of Mount Rushmore of 90s had multiple.
multiple. Yeah. Which and incidentally, going back to Live for just 1 second, one of the best like misunderstood song lyrics of all time is from from that album. Because this the song he says our love is like water, and I swear to
Oh
God I
yeah,
thought
yeah, yeah.
like our love is like Walter, and I'm like, well, who is Walter, and how is our love like Walter?
Yeah,
Our
he's
love
saying his
our love is like Walter. I'm like,
You're like, who is what?
who's Walter?
But he
The heck
says
does that have to do with anything?
Walter.
But they were
Uh,
definitely, I mean, like they were definitely one of those bands that they'd had albums before that. And they had a couple albums after that, but that album was like truly huge.
yeah, that album, their third album with the Keeney's Juice on it was and that was like one of the, when I remember watching that music video, I was like, am I supposed to be watching this?
Right?
It was very,
Yeah,
very whatever. I guess if you want to watch it, guys. But for that time, I thought it was, risque and all that
it
stuff. But
still is.
I know I'm like 16 and I'm like, this is on MTV.
This is
This is
awesome.
on MTV.
This is
Anyway,
bad. Woo!
but like, so like the bands of like, two albums.
I mean, I know you love them, but like Third Eye Blind in a way. Like I mean, I know they're still going, and they had
The
some albums,
pro
but that one album was
Well, their
huge,
debut was at Diamond Cell. I think
right, their
at Diamond Cell, yeah,
debut, and after that, and they had
almost.
albums after that, and they continued, but like that debut album was like
Right,
everywhere again.
right. I think it's funny though. Like you would think, oh man, people should be in great anticipation of the second album, but like it just late '90s shifted into like new metal
Yeah.
stuff like that. But uh, like, go ahead.
I was gonna say like Limp Bizkit.
I mean, and Corn,
Limp
and
Bizkit
Linkin
actually
Park.
just put a new album out. It's called, and I'm not even kidding. The title of the album is "Still Sucks." So it's Limp
Right.
Bizkit still sucks. And I watched a reviewer, a YouTube reviewer, review it, and for 15 minutes he said nothing. He he looked at the screen for 15 minutes. He's like,
So nothing.
going to review the new Limp Bizkit album. Limp Bizkit
Biscuit.
still sucks. And then he proceeded to, like, he ate a burrito, and he he drank a soda, he ate some chips, and he goes, "Well, that's about all I got." It was like, ooh, that good, huh?
Um,
That good.
right. I like Bush had two albums in a row
Mhm.
that were fairly
Right, with
well
16,
received,
16 Stone.
and Razor Blade Suitcase,
Right.
which I really like. Actually, I was listening to the other day, and like when you're 16, you don't really understand all the stuff that he's saying, and then when you're
Right, I know.
40, you're like, oh, that's what he meant. Jesus. Um,
Oh, okay.
I like Oasis was a huge band for one album. Like What's the Story Morning Glory was a giant selling album.
Oh yeah, no,
But
but that was like, that was another one, like with Wonderwall on it and stuff. Like you
it was
couldn't
a
turn around without like hearing
huge album.
singles off of that
But
one. It was just
their
huge.
one before, which people liked, I guess, and the one after didn't do as well. So like
Well,
they kind of
it
have
doesn't.
a good.
Well, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help that the fact that the brothers are in particular the one is just a
They're
complete
like oil and vinegar or whatever you call it, or
oil and
oil and
water. But it's
water.
not even the fact that they don't get
Oil
along
and
with each.
vinegar.
It's not even the fact that they don't get along with each other. Oil and vinegar is good. They don't get
Right,
along with each
right,
other.
right.
It's the fact that just they're like the one of them in particular is just truly just
He's
like,
a jerk,
yeah,
asshole, all
yeah,
the
he does.
above.
He's
Like,
it's not a good human being.
right. Yeah. So a lot of great music in the 90s. You can have one
Absolutely.
album be fine. It's hard to sustain quality music.
It is. I mean,
It's
I
really
think,
hard to sustain.
yeah, no, it's an interesting point. I think that's what it is, though. It's hard to sustain quality music. Like you get inspired, you put out these like 12, 13, 14 great songs, however many, you're on your album, and then it's like, oh, now I gotta do this again, you know?
Right. It's hard to write songs, man.
Now I gotta do this again.
Um,
Wow. Huh.
yeah,
And
and
some bands do,
I guess we could
and
put honorable mention though, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
no, sure,
And they're
absolutely.
alternative to
Yeah.
alternative.
Yeah, they really were. I was listening to Pearl Jam last night, and it's just like, they I think the one reason they were able to keep doing what they did is like, and like we talked about, like, you got to let your sound evolve, and they were able and willing to do that. So
Yeah.
it's bands that let their sound evolve. It's like you try to write the same album over and over and over again. Of course, it's just not going to do. It's like
Right.
you got to evolve, but stay true to who you are musically, and some bands can do it, and some
Yep.
bands can't. So
All right. Cool. So what are we talking about today, bro?
I'm not sure, man. So I guess the big, honestly, since we're talking about music, the big thing in the news is honestly that Astro World Festival. And if you, I mean, you about
I saw a clip of what happened. Like all of a sudden everyone starts going nuts and
yeah, I mean, it was a crowd surge that like pushed forward onto the stage, and 50,000 people, like surged forward, and like 8 people died in the push, and like I think 300 were injured, or like 100 people hospitalized. There's a couple of people in medically induced comas because
Jesus.
and it's just like it's like, where does the responsibility lie? You know what I mean? Like in a situation like that. I mean, the fact of the matter is, one of we started talking about music, so we might as well stick with it. One of the bands that we love, Pearl Jam, was involved in a situation similar back in 1999, 2000, 99, I think it was, the Rock Slide Festival in Europe, and nine people died at the concert,
Mm.
because of the same basic thing. It was really wet, it was really rainy, there's a crowd surge, people got pushed under and trampled. Um, you know, Kind of my understanding of the difference, though, is that, like, I guess this, like, like Word, it was, for one thing, it was 99, so there was no cell phones and stuff wasn't the thing, and social media wasn't a thing. And so, Pearl Jam was on stage, and you're looking out at this sea of bodies, and it's pretty tough to see. But when word got from the crowd to the security to the manager to Eddie, this concert stopped dead.
Eddie will stop a concert.
Yeah, that's the thing. The concert stopped dead. And since then, they've taken incredible precautions to make sure it's never happened again at a show. And as far as I know,
I
it
think
hasn't.
when he was at Wrigley Field or Fenway Park, some guy started
Wrigley.
pointing his finger at the woman he was doing Lucan, and he's like, "Stop!
Yeah,
Get out of here!
yeah,
Get him out of here!"
yeah.
You know,
No,
like that's
yeah. And I've seen Dave Grohl do that same thing. There's like people fighting at his show, and he's like, "Hey, stop! Hold on,
there's no not need.
you, yeah, you mother. Hey, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm talking to you right
there's
there, the striped shirt, mother. What are you doing? Are you trying to fight? Get out of my show! No, I'm not kidding. Get that out of my show. So it's just like, and artists, they can't see everything, obviously. I mean, I can only imagine, you get lights and everything going on, and there's a sea of bodies. But I think the thing that's a little disturbing about this, from what I've seen, is like, I've watched footage of people that are actually managed to get out of the crowd, climb up onto the stage, get right up next to the camera, like because they were filming the whole show, looking at the camera person going, there are people that are getting hurt down there, people are dying, literally said it. And the camera guy's like, and just
get
kept
away,
on filming, for like, and for like half an hour after that, these people were like climbing up on the stage and screaming and trying to get help. The concert just kept going and going and going. And this isn't the first time this has happened, apparently, with this particular artist. And so it's like, where does the responsibility lie?
I think it's obviously like there. I mean, the artist needs to kind of be aware. Someone needs to be the guy looking for that. Hey, like but like the cameraman. Come on, man. People are telling you, and he
Yeah,
radioed
right.
somebody, man.
Yeah,
Radioed
right.
somebody.
Hey, we might want
And it
to,
sucks, man, because people want to go to a show for a good time. And they don't want to. It's hard. No matter what temperament you have as a human being, getting in large crowds is uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Because you never know what's going to happen. And it's like a one little spark can set off
crazy.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would feel horrible if I was performing and people died at it because some, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't heard much of this story, but I did see that 8 people had died.
Yeah.
But like extroverts, man, you don't have to go nuts. You don't
Hey,
have to go nuts, man.
it doesn't have to be violent, right? It doesn't
Right,
have to be
right.
violent. It doesn't. I
And
mean,
I
I
don't
get
know
the.
why, what would cause people to surge and crush people like that? Like,
Yeah, and that's the thing I don't understand. Like, I was trying to read some stuff on the article, like reading some stuff about it, and it's like, it sounds like, you got two things going on. One, you got people, rushing, and it bottlenecked, and like it was a festival. So like, normally with festivals, you have like multiple stages,
right,
which have people spread out, and they did have two stages at this one, but like they shut one of them down for the night, so there was really only one stage going, so just like all the people, compressed on that one spot.
right.
So it's just like, no, I went to I had one show that I got to go to this this fall, before shows ended for the season, and
Right.
weather didn't get canceled, and it was fun, it was good. But I mean, just back to what you were saying, it's like, I thought about that. It's like watching like, I was really far back, um for the show, thanks to a friend who had gotten some VIP passes, so I was able to kind of sit above in like a VIP booth, which was
Hmm.
actually kind of cool.
Right.
But looking down, like, especially and I kind of missed being with like other people, but the front and center of the stage, nah, I'm good. My days of that are over. Don't feel the
Absolutely,
need.
yes. Yeah, yeah,
I do not like, I still, I wouldn't mind sitting up on a grassy hill watching a good show or something. The days of wanting to be in that press of bodies for a show is
Right.
no longer something I feel the need for. Maybe I'm just old. I mean, that's that.
Like the last one I went to, I mean, the weather, it was like oppressive heat. Everyone's around you, and then it's like, I'm done with it.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, like, well, I mean, like, last couple of shows I've been to, like, I went to, Smashing Pumpkins, and that was a good show. But I was back in seats,
Mhm.
and this one I was kind of back in seats, and I was like,
Right.
I don't hate this. I don't hate this.
Yep. As I guess another current event going on is the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse.
Wow. Yeah, that one's like, that's a hard one. I mean, like, it is, but it isn't. Like, me personally, like, honestly, his defense is doing a good job, and the prosecution, it sounds like, is like shooting themselves in the foot, from what I've
Well, it's
read.
like, how can you like? This is kind of in the same line of like George Zimmerman thing. If you can't go looking for a fight,
Right? I mean, that's what he did. He went looking for.
and then I guess he cried during his testimony. He was upset. You know, he's 18. He crying because he's realizing I fucked up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but you can't cross state lines and go to a protest with a gun, mind you. And how does an 18-year-old have a right to an AR-15?
Right. And then say that you're not looking for trouble anyway.
And then, well, this guy threatened to kill me, and I was defending myself. Nobody, come on, man, whatever. And so,
you're cruising around with an AR-15.
right, and like George Zimmerman, the people are telling him, don't engage, don't engage. We're on the way. He gets in a fight.
Right.
The tables get turned. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm standing my ground. I'm pleading for my life, so I'm gonna kill this guy." No. Just take your ass beating and move on.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Like, you can't go. It's not fair that people get to go looking for trouble, and then
find it,
do something find it, do something stupid.
Yeah.
People die, and then say, "Oh, my bad."
Yeah, I just, they came after me though. Yeah, because you went looking for them.
Right, you went looking
and
to engage in
and
hostilities.
you engaged, and you're toting around a freaking assault rifle.
Right.
Like,
and it's always like, I'm not saying everything has to do with race, but like, he's getting the royal treatment. I think the judge has been like laying into the defense in their line of questioning, and the prosecutor wanted to call for a mistrial, and it's like, come on, man. You see what we see.
Right.
Like, come on, don't let your eyes fool you. But yeah, man, you can't go looking for trouble and then say my bad when you find it, and you either do something stupid or the table gets turned on you. Like,
go looking for trouble. My bad.
Yeah, I didn't mean it.
Yes, it was.
It was a mistake. I didn't mean it. No, a mistake is you
ran a red light,
or instead of mustard. Whatever. Like, it's not a mistake. It's not a mistake.
Yeah.
What he did, and anyway, and I guess our old government came together to pass an infrastructure bill. We haven't rebuilt a bridge or our road in 40 years.
They're like, maybe we should spend some money to, like, I don't know.
No, man, like, if you can get things to market quickly,
it's important, right? It's important. You should, like, and like we talked about before, at this point, internet is as essential as anything. It's how our world functions.
Well, think about how much money crosses over the broadband lines.
Oh my gosh,
every day.
That's important. It is. Yeah, the internet is essential,
and it should be secure, and it should be fast. Roads should be safe, bridges should be safe, rail should be safe.
Yeah. I want there's some rickety bridges out there. You cross them every now and then. You're like, man, I hope this thing makes it across.
Yeah.
I hope I make it across. I just do. Yeah, remember living back in Carolina every now and then, going across to the Outer Banks, and there are a few of them that you're like, oh God, don't let it cross.
Imagine going on the bridge that goes from the tip of Florida to the Keys.
Oh my God.
When you're like, all you see around you is ocean. You're porked, man. If that thing
this
falls,
SOB if this thing done, I'm done.
You're done.
You're done. You got nothing.
And like, we need to upgrade our ports and make more, maybe, and like use this money to hire more workers. Like,
pretty clear right now that's the case. I mean, we have a problem getting, like, after thanks to good old COVID, but we got some movement of goods issues.
Right, and we can hire more truck drivers to get stuff to market. Like, talk about essential, man.
Right, absolutely.
Talk about essential. Do you think it's essential, Keely?
Not a job I would ever want to do, but man,
I know.
one that thank God there are people that do.
That's all the truck drivers do all day.
Yeah, no.
You know, when
I
people,
mean, it's not one I would ever do, but my goodness, like
you
we
get
need
to
those guys.
you get to see the country though. Well, it's
Yeah,
kind of
no, I mean
cool,
it's
but it's not
definitely
a
no,
tough
it's I mean
job.
it's a gig for certain people, man. It's a gig for certain people and certain types of people. I'm not that people.
Right. You're not that people.
I am not that people. Pup's like, hey, let's take a walk.
What, the one walking by right now?
No, the one that's like up in your grill,
Oh,
man.
he's all like, do you need attention right now, bro?
Right, seriously.
Thank you. All right, get down. Get down. All right. You said you got to go to work Friday, right?
Yeah.
I don't. So it's like a tease, man. Get
Yeah,
tomorrow
right.
off and then go
Tomorrow
back.
off and then yeah.
Yeah. Thank you to our viewers who listen every week. Appreciate it. We have at least 5.
That's right. There we go. Well, thank you to
That's
those people.
cool, man. I
Right.
wish I knew who some of you were. Some of you actually I don't even know who you are.
But you listen, which is great.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And if you know me and want me to talk about something, do tell us. Give us a
Tell us
topic.
something to talk about.
It could be anything.
Otherwise, we'll just keep rambling about whatever we ramble about.
Right. Like I saw something about a black hole they found that's 10 billion light years away. And it's 700 million solar masses.
That's amazing. Space is like mind blowing. I don't understand it at all.
Crazy. And if our sun turned into a black hole, our orbit, nothing would happen with our orbit because it's the same in gravity, it's just smaller.
Mhm.
Obviously, it would not be light anymore. It'd be pitch dark.
We would have problems that we would have to deal
Right.
with.
But
Things would become problematic.
yeah, it would be very problematic. We'd have to figure out how to live without sun. But it can be done because there are animals on this planet that never see the light of day. We need the water, it was more important. But yeah. And anyway, hey man, space is cool. Maybe we'll talk about space.
Space time. Space is cool.
But like thinking about like something that's 10 billion light years away.
Yeah, right.
That number's like that distance is insane.
It's something you can't.
It's hard to contemplate. It's like almost to the beginning of the universe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can't wrap your brain around it.
All right, guys.
All right.
All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening, and have a great rest of your week. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.